sustainability.
Wouldn't it be great to be a part of something that really does make a difference?
A showcase of technology and innovation. Extreme E.
No lifting! Oh,
Oh, look at that! From the glaciers of Greenland to the Atacama Desert, Extreme E has become the ultimate test of minds and machine.
Wow, what a final!
It's the championship or nothing.
Now, Extreme E is back.
Anything can happen, any team can take the win. It's really exciting.
I can promise you, wherever you go, it will be different.
And people don't understand how gnarly it really is.
New teams, new drivers, and new epic locations.
We want that title and we will fight for it.
You have to be prepared to go out right from lap 1.
It's going to be close.
This is the countdown to Season 3.
Hyperdrive now.
Extreme E is an all-electric racing series travelling to the most remote corners of the planet to highlight the effects of climate change. In Seasons 1 and 2, the series visited 7 different locations around the world, starting in Alula, Saudi Arabia.
Christopherson goes out wide. Now he's going to make the cut back and try and carry the speed through the corner. He kicks the car up really high.
The race was won by Rosberg X Racing.
This is going to be Molly Taylor winning the first ever Extreme E X Prix. She crosses the line.
A team led by 2016 Formula One world champion Nico Rosberg. The championship in Season 1 went down to the wire as RXR battled Lewis Hamilton's team X44 throughout. It came down to the final race of the season.
3 laps to decide our champions.
But RXR were crowned winners.
RXR have done it when it counts. Christopherson and Taylor.
RXR went on to dominate the first few races of Season 2 as they looked to become back-to-back champions.
Johan Christopherson, the reigning champion, crosses the line to take the win in round 1. RXR take the win in round 3.
But a remarkable turnaround from X44 Vida Carbon saw them take revenge and become the victors in Season 2.
Sebastian Loeb fires up the inside.
X44 have won this championship.
Each Extreme E team is made up of 1 male and 1 female driver. They all have the same access to the engineers and the latest technology to ensure that they race on a level playing field regardless of gender. A first in motorsport.
Extreme E has made such a change for women in motorsport. I think we've been able to see over the course of the 2 seasons just how much the women have progressed in their ability and talent, and it's been great to have an international spotlight to showcase the talent that is out there on an equal playing field. It's fantastic.
Being able to see the progression from the female drivers coming closer and closer and challenging a lot of the male drivers on pure pace. Competition in between the teams is definitely closer than it's ever been.
Very good job. Very good job. Well done.
As Season 3 of the championship approaches, let's take a look at the teams competing for this year's crown. Carl Cox, Motorsport Extreme E are the new kids on the block, and they are led by world-renowned DJ and motorsport fanatic Carl Cox.
Whose idea was this? Your idea.
He's crazy. Apt Cupra won the final race of Season 2 in Uruguay, so they will be full of confidence. Clara Anderson is a rising star of the sport, and Nasser Al-Attiyah is fresh from winning his 5th Dakar Rally. Axiona Sainz finished 3rd in the championship last year, and they'll be hoping to push the leaders again. However, Carlos Sainz is unavailable for the team, having fractured vertebrae in his back at the Dakar Rally. So the team are looking for a new male driver to partner Laia Sanz. Genesis Andretti United became Andretti Ultraquilet for Season 3, but stick with the driver lineup which has competed in every Extreme E race so far and won the Arctic X Prix in Season 1. Katie Mullings and Timmy Hansen. JBXE, the team launched by 2009 Formula One World Champion Jenson Button, are looking to improve on a 9th place finish last year. Neon McLaren returned for their second year in the championship, having improved throughout their first season in the sport last year. They stick with Emma Gilmore and Tanner Faust as their driver pairing. Number 99 GMC Hummer EV Chip Ganassi were race winners in Sardinia last season, and they are still finalising their drivers for this year. Rosberg X Racing are back again to try to reclaim the championship they won in Season 1 and stick with their strong driver pairing of Johan Kristoffersson and Michaela Arlen-Kotelinski. Veloce Racing brought in Kevin Hansen and Season 1 champion Molly Taylor for the final race of last year. They were top qualifiers in Uruguay and went on to reach the final. Sticking with the same team for Season 3, they are expected to perform well. Finally, last season's champions, X44 Vida Carbon Racing, will look to continue their form into Season 3 as they are still finalising their driver pairing. So, many teams are still signing drivers as the first race approaches, the Desert X Prix.
We're going back to Saudi Arabia for the third time for our first race of Season 3. We're racing right along the coastline, so literally wheels in the water. But then as they turn further inland, you'll see some deep sand dunes and lots of palm trees, so it's a special occasion.
I love going to the new locations. I think it's one of the coolest things about Extreme E. The fact that we're going back to Saudi and Neon, but actually we're seeing a different part of that and we're racing in a different location. It's a clean slate for everybody, keep us all on our toes for the first race.
Sand is cool, it's a totally different discipline. I've never actually raced on a beach before, so I'm looking forward to Saudi.
Racing in Saudi the first season, the track was just so extreme. It was still extreme in Season 2, but then I had more of the experience from Season 1. And I think it's going to be maybe the same feeling now coming for Season 3, especially with the new race format. It's going to be really exciting.
Last season we suffered quite a lot with the dust, a few accidents, but I think this season with the new location that we have on the beach, it's going to be the best season yet.
Extreme E races in truly remote locations that are some of the most vulnerable ecosystems on Earth to put a spotlight on the fight against climate change. The Extreme E Scientific Committee ensure that each race has an environmental purpose, and the theme for the race in Saudi Arabia is hydrogen and biodiversity.
Saudi is a very interesting race venue for us. It's a very well-resourced country, very aware of climate change, and through Extreme E we're seeing the sort of efforts that are going in to regenerate the environment and to push renewables.
Our behaviors do have a huge collective impact on climate change. We can really contribute to build resilience by decreasing our use of resources and therefore our footprint on the climate, and Extreme E are now delivering that.
In the end, it's not very big changes we have to do in our daily life to actually improve the planet. I think that's important to try and spread that word, and I think Extreme E is a great platform of doing that.
Genesis Andretti United return for Season 3 as Andretti Altaquilet, and their drivers Katie Munnings and Timmy Hansen are optimistic for the new season after a mixed set of results last year.
Looking back at Season 2, I think we actually had a very good season. It's all going very well, but still not the result that we wanted.
It was a good year for us in terms of how much we learnt as a team. I think in terms of what went wrong in our overall result was that, it was kind of one of those years we were unlucky with a few mechanical issues.
I'm completely flat out everywhere, I have no power.
There was also some quite intense racing that took us out of semi-finals as well. I think in terms of our overall result, our pace was stronger than our championship standings in the end. It's been nice to have a few months off to be able to really analyse the season. We're going into it feeling really fresh. I love the start of a new championship, that clean slate, anything can happen, any team can take the win. It's really exciting.
Going into Season 3, I think this might be our season. We got everything we need within the team to look very brightly into the next year. Katie is performing super well, the team is fantastic, all the mechanics doing a great job. We've got a good setup now, engineers are great, but we need to tie the results together and make sure that we are spot on.
We're now going into the third season, but really I've been there since the first race and it's been so special to see how it's evolved as a championship. I'm so grateful for the opportunity that Extreme's given me, and I'm just feel really proud to be a part of something that's moving in such a positive direction and attracting a lot of attention, I think. You know, we've got new teams signing up, some more big names in the world. You know, Carl Cox is wanting a team, which is really cool. I think we'll have a cool DJ for the after parties as well. So
probably one of the biggest challenges with Extreme E is the lack of driving. We don't have a big testing program on the side. We have very limited free practice, so most of the driving we do is actually right there in the competition. You have to be prepared in a special way to go out right from lap 1, not knowing the track, but still being on the limit.
We're feeling good, excited, competitive, and can't wait to get started.
As always in Extreme E, it's very little preparation compared to any other championship, but that's really part of the challenge. Yeah, it's going to be another tough year, but I'm excited.
The second round of Season 3 will visit Scotland. The exact location is still secret, however it promises to be some of the most dramatic racing ever seen on Extreme E.
I think when the drivers show up to this location, they're just going to be amazed. This course is really fast, long drops, almost psychotic drops. I don't think we've seen anything like we're going to have here in Scotland.
The beauty of this venue speaks for itself, but also the sport in action is going to be truly epic.
As well as the racing on course, Extreme E will continue to spread environmental awareness and follow through its legacy programs.
So Scotland in particular has a very progressive future in producing clean energy. That's the story we'll be telling here.
So Extreme E's event here in Scotland is called the Hydro X Prix. We're talking about how water plays a huge role in the future, whether it's renewables, whether it's in healthy conservation and biodiversity. These last few days being here in Scotland, it's made us very excited for the race. It's shown us the potential of what we can do, not just on the racetrack, which is looking fantastic, but off the racetrack as well, because that story to us is as important as the racing.
Extreme E's commitment to leaving behind a positive legacy extends beyond the racing weekends. Last year, the drivers returned to race sites in Greenland and Senegal to ensure that the work started by the championship continues to leave a real impact.
Extreme E legacy programs are a really important part of the race series, and I'm particularly drawn to those that are community driven. They're the experts about what they need, and the more we can talk to those communities, then we're better able to come together and create these amazing solutions.
As well as returning to race locations, the drivers also visited a potential site for this year's championship, the Amazon rainforest. Whilst there, Sarah Price discovered how Extreme E are encouraging local farmers to make more environmentally conscious decisions in their farming techniques.
Tô achando que as mulheres aqui elas estão bem empoderadas.
You're gonna make us all cry. Don't do that.
This year, Extreme E plan to return to Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Greenland and Uruguay to renew their commitment to their legacy programs. 2 years of electric racing in some of the most remote locations on the planet, Extreme E is entering its 3rd year.
Season 3, we're going bigger, better, more extreme. Any new sport needs to develop, and we've discussed it with drivers and teams, and we feel the best thing to do is actually to go to multi-car racing across the whole weekend. So you'll see side-by-side racing right from that Saturday morning first race.
Each X-Prix will now be a double header, meaning the season will be made up of a total of 10 races rather than 5. Single car qualifying has been scrapped in favour of more wheel-to-wheel action. The revamped format promises to deliver the most intense championship fight ever.
Everybody loves to see action on track, and we love to fight each other out on course. So I really look forward to season 3, a new challenge for everyone, a bit of a change in the championship.
You know, when you are 5 cars to start, it's a special feeling you get, and you're really hungry for the win. I'm really looking forward to it.
It is not just the racing format that has been overhauled for season 3. The cars have also received big upgrades ahead of the first race.
We've made some huge improvements working with our advisors. Underneath there'll be a new approach angle for the car, so when you see it land off those big jumps, it won't nosedive as much, it'll actually land as we want it to. We're incredibly proud at Extreme E that we have the world's top off-road racing drivers. We've had 4 or 5 different driver changes, and if those guys put in a good performance, I think they're here to stay.
I think on season 3 people can expect another thrilling season, probably even better than the second and much better than the first, where drivers are really now at the top of the knowledge of the cars. We will be increasing power on these cars, we will be learning also lessons from the tracks. The interesting thing about Extreme E is how we've been evolving locations. We go back to some great places like Saudi, like Chile, where we've been, and then we try a couple of new locations.
I love going to the new locations. I think it's one of the coolest things about Extreme E. The fact that we're going back to Saudi and Neon, but actually we're seeing a different part of that and we're racing in a different location. I think that will be really special. Scotland, I think, will be new for me. It would be nice to race in my hometown a little bit.
I think it's amazing, you know, to keep racing for a purpose. It's cool to see some new locations, you know, adding to the calendar.
We're going to shorter tracks at the moment, preferring to have 2 laps instead of a long loop. My target is to find tracks and to create tracks with even more challenges inside the lap, so you can stand out as a driver. When you leave a race location, it's not like a proper and consistent racetrack, so we're facing all the time new challenges, even though it's the same location. And I can promise you, wherever we go, it will be different.
Of course, for Extreme E, our message on sustainability will become ever more important, and all those locations have important messages that we can send to the world.
RXR lost the championship in agonising fashion in the final race of season 2.
It's not working, I can barely turn.
But Michaela Arlen-Kotolinski and Johan Kristoffersen are back for season 3.
Season 2, it started very good for us. New teammate with Michaela, knew her for so long time, but never raced together with her. The season started great. It didn't end as well as we wanted, but you know, that's racing. We just have to try and you know, learn from season 2, but also kind of put that behind us and look forward.
After Uruguay, I definitely needed some time off from racing. We didn't win the championship, and that was really heartbreaking because I felt that we had a good margin ahead of the race. It was tough, but I always know that with some time you can reflect back on what was good, think about for next season what you want to do. First of all, I'm super happy to continue with RXR and continue with Johan as my teammate. I just want to get better this year and I want to learn even more from Johan because he's an amazing driver. Continue working with the team, it's been amazing. But for season 3, the race format is going to be a bit different. So it's going to be more shorter courses with 2 laps, and then it's not going to be any time qualifying, so it's just going to be racing. I love racing though. I mean, overtakings and fighting with other cars, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. I'm super excited to join another season with Michaela. I mean, we've done 5 races together now, and I think both of us learned quite a lot about each other and what we can improve as a driver pair to become even better. And we have started already during the winter as a preparation, trying to improve and become a better pairing in the championship. I'm looking forward, but with that said, you know, it's some very, very strong lineups from the other teams as well. So we just have to try and do our best, but of course the goal is always to win.
All the tracks are going to be challenging in every way because you always need to find that maximum. So for me, it's ultimately, you know, focusing on my parts and realizing and learning that the other stuff you can't control that. But the urge of wanting to win is always there. Anything can happen to the very end, so just keep on pushing yourself.
The third stop of Season 3 will be going back to the rocky terrain and stunning turquoise waters of Sardinia for the third consecutive year.
Going back to race locations gives us opportunity to follow up on legacy projects and evolve the race themes that we've celebrated in previous seasons. It provides continuity in essence.
Perfect.
Right in the heart of the Mediterranean Sea, the Italian island is suffering faster and faster the consequences of global warming. The increase of wildfires and seagrass loss is not only an alarming fact in the region, but also globally.
Climate change has many different consequences on the ocean. This is sea level rise, marine heat waves that we're seeing right now in the Mediterranean, just right behind us. So we're not able to curb the losses. This is going to have multiple and dramatic impacts to us as humans.
Scotland and then the third race, Sardinia, are incredibly important because it's demonstrating climate change on the edge of Europe. You know, these are problems that aren't just in the extreme environments in the middle of nowhere. This is about climate change problems that affect you and I here and now, and what we're doing is strong storytelling.
Rosberg X-Racing won round 3 in Sardinia last year, and Michaela Kotelowski has good memories of the course and good spirits to go back.
So when racing drivers are being asked about their favorite racetrack, it always tends to be a racetrack that you've made a good result in, because you come back to the racetrack, you have the confidence, you knew that you were doing well the last time you were racing there. And that is definitely the feeling for me with Sardinia. I think coming in there, I will have a good confidence, I will feel well. It's going to be a new challenge, it's going to be a new track and different features compared to last year, but still it's going to be the kind of same terrain and so on. So I will be very positive heading into Sardinia.
Quite a different approach when you arrive on a track which you've driven before, so you have to look a little bit more into the details of the track.
I mean, first of all, it's extremely hot for a Scandinavian to be in Sardinia in midsummer. It's really, really hot, so definitely need to keep hydrated, and the track is extremely rough as well.
The track is super fast, super flowing, some jumps in there.
You're just flying and it is so rough and so brutal, but ultimately a lot of fun.
Chile will be cool as well. That track was
so fun.
You love that track as a rallycross driver.
Yeah.
For me, it was like I did the track walk and I'd never driven anything like that before. It was
incredible.
Chile's Atacama Desert will be the setting for the finale to the championship in Season 3.
This special place is the Atacama Desert, and it's the driest place on Earth.
It's so remote. Nothing is close. Wherever you're looking here, nothing is close by.
I mean, we would never get to this place if it wouldn't be for Extreme E.
The track has got a bit of everything really. It's very smooth, so I think smoothness from your driving technique is going to be really important. Not to be scrubbing too much speed by trying to throw it around too much.
So I'm expecting a pretty packed field in terms of lap times. That means tight racing, and in the end it will be like elbows out and all in.
The Chile race in the Atacama Desert is an extraordinary setting in the middle of the driest place on Earth, where life is very, very difficult, and where you do find life, it's really highly adapted. It's a magnificent example of how creatures can get by under extreme climate.
So we are now in the Atacama Desert at about 2,000 meters above sea level. This is the driest place on Earth with the least amount of life in the whole planet, but yet it is the hotspot of mineral resources and metals in the world. So one main driver of the increasing demands for copper with the electrification of the world is electrical vehicles. So in order to sustainably meet our goals in terms of energy sources, we need not only to be able to source the materials and recycle them, but we need to mine copper sustainably.
With the new season now just days away, the Extreme E drivers are starting to focus on the upcoming racing and the challenges that lie ahead.
Being announced now that I will race for After Cupra alongside Nasser for Season 3 of Extreme E is just amazing. I feel so honored to work with this amazing team. We spent 2 races last year together and those went really well. Now it's the goal to just continue the momentum and keep pushing.
For our first season, we were really happy with the results. They got better and better. We made mistakes fakes the whole way. We had some mechanical things in the beginning, and by the end we were able to have some pace that we weren't exactly sure we were capable of, so that was great. It's momentum, of course, into the next season. There's no doubt that we benefit on the rallycross style tracks rather than the tracks like Saudi, so it'll be a struggle right off the bat in Saudi, but yeah, we're optimistic.
Looking into now season 3, I think it will be quite an exciting year. We have some new locations that we will be driving in. I have no idea how the tracks will be, but it sounds super exciting. And now knowing that I will do all the races and everything, it's also quite a good feeling coming into the first race. And also with all the other drivers, you know, no one knows where we are yet until the first practice in Saudi.
I think season 3, you know, has a lot of the same teams that we've had during the years, and we know X44 will be super strong, RXR as well. I have a brother in one of the other teams. I'm sure he would like to improve as well on his results. So I mean, this championship is just, you know, getting stronger and stronger each year. That is also the exciting part, and that's why we want to beat everyone. You know, we have the opportunity to put together our best team possible and our best ideas, and hopefully that can reach us all the way to victory out of everyone else. I think season 3 is going to be the best season yet.
When you look at the grid, it's such good drivers, you know. All teams are really strong, and we have seen the development with all the drivers, I'd say, from season 1 and now season 2 and going into season 3. It's everyone can win, in my opinion, and it will be hard, but our goal is clear. We want that title and we will fight for it. And all we can do is race our best and just keep the momentum going, having fun on the way, and getting the job done. So I think it's going to be an amazing year, and I can't wait to see what Extreme has brought us.
Don't miss the opening round of Extreme E Season 3. The Desert X Prix in Saudi Arabia.